Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you today. We have our series, Stories of Hope. In a world where there's so much chaos and confusion going on, now more than ever, we need hope. So I can't wait to introduce you to our first guest, Craig Meriwether. He's here from Flagstaff, Arizona. And just a little bit about him. When he was a teenager, he struggled for many years with depression and anxiety. Eventually, he was diagnosed with bipolar 2 when he was 50 years old. He found healing by learning to take back control of his subconscious mind and nervous system through hypnotherapy and NLP techniques. After learning so much, he trained to become a clinical hypnotherapist himself. So now he is a certified hypnotherapist, medical hypnosis specialist, a neuro-linguistic programming specialist, and founder of Arizona Integrative Hypnotherapy, helping people eliminate the negative emotions and limiting beliefs that may be keeping them from reaching their full potential. For over 12 years, he's been helping people heal from early childhood trauma, helping cancer patients with pain control, veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, students with test anxiety, entrepreneurs with confidence, athletes with peak performance, and anyone who may be dealing with overwhelm, fear, and anxiety. My goodness, what a wonderful calling. Welcome to the show today, Craig Meriwether.
Oh, thank you, Kornelia. I'm really excited to be on your show. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Don't know where it's going, so I've been looking forward to this all day today.
It's so good. It's amazing when we find ourselves, right, with the most challenging situations, whatever it may be, whether it's an illness or tests that life gives us. And obviously you've had your share, and now you've turned those challenges into triumphs, and you've healed your own life, and you're helping others heal as well.
Yeah, and it was such a journey, especially the kind of head slap of finally finding out after 25 years of just managing and dealing and working on myself that, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Bipolar 2 is not the fun one. Bipolar 1's the one where you get super depressed and then you get super manic and you end up in Las Vegas spending all your money and mortgaging your house and in debt with the mob and all that stuff. The kind of exciting one. Bipolar 2 shows up as depression, and the manic part shows up as anxiety. And so that was kind of the big struggle for a long time. But before even the diagnosis, it was really the birth of my son in 2000, where I really said, I got to get my act together. My mother struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. Certainly, I had my own issues, and if my son was going to struggle with those issues, I wanted some answers and I wanted some techniques. I was a teenager in the 1980s. They didn't have the SSRI drugs, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors like Prozac and all those ones. Those didn't come out till the mid-90s or so. So it was really talk therapy and whatever book you could find at the library or a bookstore. So luckily, at least in 2000, the internet was just starting to come out. You could do a lot of research, a lot more information out there. And I just started finding techniques and methods to just start resetting my own nervous system, changing my brain chemistry, turning off the adrenaline and the cortisol and turning on the serotonin, the dopamine, the oxytocin. And so it was a lot of trial by error, but also a lot of finding the methods that actually work. And sometimes the methods can be really simple. There's so much research out there showing that just exercise works as well as medication for depression and chronic depression, not just, kind of Monday morning blues. We're talking chronic depression. Exercise works as well as medication. Hundreds of studies show this. Of course, you're depressed, you don't want to get out of bed, let alone take a walk in the sunshine. But if you could just start the process of just doing a little bit each and every day, you can really find amazing results just by practicing. And that's the biggest thing. What is strongest within your mind is what you do over and over again. And if you're, in my case, practicing depression and anxiety, guess what? You're going to get really good at it. Just like you're going to get a black belt in Taekwondo or Judo if you practice a lot. You're going to get better at the piano if you practice a lot. So it goes to figure you're going to get better at depression, anxiety, or fear, or anger, whatever you're practicing. So a lot of the work is just practicing something else.
Yeah. Couple things came to me while you were talking. First, I want to ask, how old is your son today?
Today, he was 23 years old, 23 and a half, if you want to be technical about it.
Great. I think that that was a wonderful gift that you're giving, your son, your legacy of, when he was born, that you didn't want to, you did not want him to have the same, life possibilities of what you were dealing with at the time. You wanted to create and for him to have a better life. So that's a wonderful, wonderful gift that you gave him. And obviously he's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So who are the people that come to you? So because you talked a lot about the exercise and having getting yourself moving if you're depressed. So are your clients people that come to you that are suffering with depression and anxiety?
Uh, that's probably a big chunk of the people who come see me. Generally, it's the people who have no other options. They've tried everything else. Hypnotherapy is usually the last resort and last on the list, which is really unfortunate because there's nothing magical or mystical and so much baggage, unfortunately, with hypnosis and therapeutic hypnosis techniques because of what you see in the movies and TV shows and those Las Vegas shows, comedy shows, things like that. And it's really unfortunate because you can access the power of your own subconscious mind. And what's fascinating about this work is I'm not here to fix anybody.
Mm.
And hypnotherapy in and of itself is not going to fix anybody. You're going to fix yourself. Because who better to know what the problem is and not a problem? And that's the unfortunate thing with talk therapy. I've done it myself. And it can be so helpful, so very useful, so very healing. But if you're just talking about a problem, that tends to keep people there for a long time. What's fascinating about therapeutic hypnosis is we work on the problem. Even if you're not consciously aware of what it is, you know what the problem is because your subconscious mind is trying to protect you from it.
Mm.
That's why you get those warning signals of fear or anger or anxiety. There's something in your external environment that is triggering this response, this reaction with this feeling state. So your subconscious mind knows exactly what it's trying to protect you from. Again, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, you know exactly what the problem is. It's almost like you have a filing cabinet of all the hurt and the pain and the trauma and the things that have caused terror and anger and humiliation and embarrassment. And your subconscious mind is for you, but its main job is to keep you safe and protected, which doesn't necessarily mean happy and thriving. It just means alive. It's for survival. And if you've had some hurt and pain, especially as a child, it's going to want to protect you from that. And if anything looks like something in one of those files, it's going to turn on the armor, turn on that fight or flight stress response. So your subconscious mind knows exactly what it's doing. And that's what's fascinating about this work is by quieting down the mind and the body, even just a little bit, even if you have an overactive mind, that actually is amazing for this work. You don't have to be an expert meditator to do this work. You can have an overactive imagination and maybe it might even work even better. But with this work, what we're doing is not necessarily going to talk about the problem. We're not. This isn't talk therapy. We're going to access your subconscious mind just through deep relaxation or even light relaxation and rest, and then quiet down that conscious mind. And then sometimes it's just as easy to ask, what is the problem and what needs to happen to fix this? And it can be that simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. So it's basically, you said a state of relaxation and a state of calm, and then asking a very simple question.
Yeah. It
And
can be
then
that simple.
it
Yeah.
can be, yeah.
Yeah. Just really quickly, because I know we're just got a few minutes, but what I like to, how I like to explain this is with an actual real world example.
Mhm,
And I was doing some classes, some Zoom classes. A lot of the work I've been doing over the last, and a lot of us doing hypnotherapy or talk therapy or have
mhm,
been doing this work over Zoom because of the issues of COVID in 2020 and 2021. All our sessions went to Zoom. And it just is convenient and people feel relaxed and safe in their home. So what research shows, it actually works a little bit better
mhm.
doing Zoom sessions than in person. But I was doing these classes for the cancer support community of Arizona, Zoom classes with 12, 15 people would show up, and we're doing pain control and healing acceleration and immune system boosting over the course of a few months. And this older woman was in the classes. I guess she's about 70 years old. And the third class, I was early to the class. She was early to the Zoom class, and we're just chit chatting. She asks if hypnotherapy can work with procrastination. Yeah, that's a mindset issue, trying to back away from something that seems dangerous, even though it may be beneficial to you to get that promotion or get that good grade in school. And so, yeah, let's work on that. And so we made an appointment for the very next afternoon. I had an opening. And so 24 hours later, what's fascinating is the gears start turning when you're knowing you're going to do some healing work. And she says at the appointment, I know I said I want to work on procrastination, but what I really want to work on is why I don't matter in life. This is a 70-year-old woman who thinks she doesn't matter in life.
Mm.
And so there's a feeling state to that in the body. You can point to it where that pain resides, where it originates. And so sometimes, again, it's just as easy to follow that feeling state back to the thought or the memory that's creating it. We do that kind of regression work. And 10 down to one. On one, you're going to be at the very first time you ever felt that you didn't matter in life. 10 down to one, where are you? And she says, I'm standing up in my crib and I'm crying because my father won't stop screaming at me.
Wow.
And I don't know what standing up your crib is. That's got to be like
Yeah.
12, 14 months old, something like that. And in that moment, in that terror, in that horror of this
Yeah.
person who's supposed to love her and nurture her and take care of her and love her is screaming at her because she won't stop crying. Her mind, that tiny mind of hers, that brand new mind of hers, thinks, well, the only way I can justify this is I just don't matter. And she held on to that file, held on to that belief for some 70 years until one day she decided to let go of it. And she did. And I heard from her this was a few years ago, and I heard from her for a year or so. She'd send me an email every now and then. She said, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. And so, yeah, she did a couple of group sessions doing pain control, healing acceleration, and then one session to because she knew what the problem was and she knew what to do to heal the child. And so again, a lot of this work isn't me fixing anybody, even the techniques fixing you. You fix yourself. She knew what to do, and it was time to do it. And so that's what this work can do. In the brief couple of minutes we have, it's extraordinary because who better than you to know what to work on and what to do about it?
Yeah, I love this. How can people look you up on social media and find you and learn more about your work?
The best way is my website, which is Arizona Integrative Hypnotherapy. That's a mouthful. But if you just went on Google and you search for Flagstaff Hypnosis, you'll see myself come up. Arizona Integrative Hypnotherapy, that's me. And socials are the same. But best way is just through there because you can get my email, and that's what I'm fastest to respond to.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Craig, for coming on the show
Oh,
today.
it's fun.
Really appreciate your wisdom, and I love the story you told and
Thank
how
you.
simple it can be for someone. It's just it doesn't have to be hard and complicated. It
No,
just you have to just be willing to want to get to the root and to the bottom of what's holding you back.
you
Thank you
nailed
so
it on the
much for
head.
coming on. Yeah,
Thank you.
we're going to take a break on the Cornelia Stephanie Show, everyone. We'll be right back.